Have you ever seen kittens doing parkour? These two kittens are scaling the walls faster and faster, almost like they have springs in their paws. The third kitten watched them and clearly didn't want to be outdone. It scrambled up the wall without hesitation. Honestly, these three kittens are unbelievably agile, like they were born to do parkour. Then, the first two kittens leapt from the table onto the fridge, and continued jumping all the way to the gap near the ceiling. Their movements were completely fluid, no hesitation at all. It's like they're training for parkour right in the house, and their jumping power is incredible. Have you ever seen cats this skilled at parkour? Watching them move like this is absolutely jaw-dropping. You can't help but admire their athleticism. Have you ever seen cats get into a real fight? Today while I was driving, I suddenly spotted two cats on the side of the road going at it, like seriously fighting. They were rolling all over the ground, were flying everywhere. One of them clearly had the upper hand, pinning the other down and letting out this low, warning growl like, "Don't mess with me." Honestly, just watching it looked painful. Then later, I saw something even crazier, a single cat taking on three dogs. That's when things got really intense. The three dogs looked pretty confident at first, circling around, but none of them actually dared to rush in. They just kept testing the distance. But that cat? It wasn't scared at all. It suddenly lunged forward and scared the closest dog into backing off immediately. The dogs still tried to push their luck, creeping closer again, and the cat just started throwing rapid swipes straight to the face. One clean hit and you could tell it meant business. The dogs instantly backed down, tails tucked, and ran off. The whole thing lasted just a few seconds. The cat didn't even make a sound the entire time, but its presence completely dominated the situation. These cats really live by one rule, no talking, just action. Have you ever put makeup on your cat? Today I gave my white cat a full makeover. I put on some blush, added a little lipstick, and even gave her a wig. She looked like she was getting ready for a blind date. Then I called over my other cat and covered the made-up cat with a red cloth, like some kind of dramatic reveal. When I pulled the cloth away, the other cat just froze. The look on its face was priceless, pure confusion and disgust, like, what am I even looking at right now? It sat next to the dressed-up cat with its eyes half closed, like it literally couldn't handle what it was seeing. After a few seconds, it had enough. It reached out and smacked the dressed-up cat. Of course, she wasn't about to take that, she immediately smacked back, and the two of them started fighting right there. The wig almost got knocked off in the chaos. The whole thing was so ridiculous and hilarious. Have you ever seen a cat with a full makeover like this? It's honestly too funny. Have you ever seen a cat get shaved? Today I gave my cat a full shave, and at first, it really wasn't into it. So I grabbed its favorite treat and gave it a bite. After that, it finally agreed to lie down and let me start shaving. But during the process, it would still resist every now and then. Every time it did, I'd quickly give it another bite of the treat. After a couple more snacks, it would calm down again and let me keep going. So it basically turned into a mix of shaving a little, biting a little, and repeating that over and over until I finally finished the whole thing. I purposely left the fur on its four little paws and its head untouched. And when I was done, it looked absolutely hilarious, like it was wearing a little helmet. It was honestly both ridiculous and adorable at the same time. Have you ever seen a cat that looks like it's wearing a helmet after a shave? You could even try this at home with your own cat, it's actually pretty funny. Have you ever seen cats catch fish? Today, I saw a little cat waiting patiently by the shore while tons of fish swam around in the water. Out of nowhere, the cat suddenly reached out with one paw, grabbed a fish, and took off running like a professional fisherman. Later by the beach, I saw two cats fighting over a fish. One cat had just caught it, but another cat immediately ran over and bit down on the fish too. The cat that caught the fish clearly wasn't giving up without a fight, so they both stood there pulling on opposite sides of the fish like a tiny tug-of-war match. But in the end, the original cat lost, and the fish got completely stolen right out of its paws. Then later, I spotted another cat sitting quietly on some steps near the water, waiting patiently like it knew exactly what it was doing. The second a fish swam close enough, the cat's paw shot out so fast and instantly scooped the fish right out of the water. Honestly, these cats were seriously impressive. Their reflexes and fishing skills were absolutely insane. Have you ever brushed your kitten's teeth? When I brushed my first kitten's teeth, I laid her gently on my lap and brought out the toothbrush and cat toothpaste. I squeezed a little toothpaste onto my finger first, then slowly started brushing her tiny teeth. And surprisingly, she just laid there completely still the entire time, calmly letting me brush without fighting back at all. She was honestly such a sweet and well-behaved little kitten. But then I tried brushing my other kitten's teeth, and that experience was completely different. That little troublemaker refused to cooperate, so I had to wrap her up in a cloth like a tiny cat burrito with only her head sticking out. She seriously looked like a little caterpillar. Then I did the same thing again, put some toothpaste on my finger, gently opened her mouth, and carefully brushed her back teeth and molars while she stared at me in complete betrayal. But once everything was finished, both kittens ended up clean, fresh, and smelling amazing. Honestly, brushing a cat's teeth can either be super peaceful, or turn into a full wrestling match depending on the cat. Have you ever brushed your cat's teeth before? Have you ever tried trimming your kitten's nails? At first, when I called my kitten over for a nail trim, she absolutely refused to cooperate. The moment I reached for her paw, she pulled it back immediately, hid in the corner, and tried with all her strength to escape my hand while staring at me like I had personally betrayed her. I tried bringing her closer, but she dramatically flopped onto the floor and completely went limp like she was protesting the entire situation. So I decided to switch strategies and pulled out her favorite treat. At first, she cautiously licked it a little, then finally took a bite. And the second she did, her whole attitude completely changed. After finishing the treat, she finally let me bring her over and gently sit her on my lap. While I trimmed her tiny little nails, she just sat there quietly without struggling at all. And once everything was done, she laid there all soft and tiny looking unbelievably adorable, like nothing had even happened. Honestly, sometimes when cats don't want to cooperate, all it takes is one little treat to completely trick them into behaving. Is your cat like this too? Have you ever seen a cat behave this well during bath time? My cat was just lying there, and when I started talking to her and calling her cute, she actually tried to smack me. So out of spite, I decided to give her a bath. But surprisingly, the moment bath time started, she became super well behaved. She just sat there calmly while I washed her. First, I rinsed her whole body with water, then shampooed her fur. After washing the soap off, I used a conditioning treatment to help keep her coat soft and healthy. Then I filled a bucket with warm water and let her sit in it for a little spa moment. After that, I washed her head, and she was still being incredibly good, just sitting there patiently while I cleaned her. Later, I used cotton swabs to gently clean her ears. Then I blow-dried her fur, and she sat there the whole time letting me dry her without any fuss. After everything was done, I took her out for a little drive. She sat in the car looking around at everything outside. Then when we finally got home, she went right back to bullying the dog. Such a funny little sweetheart.